Hello. Oh, sorry. I just wiped off my camera. Hold on. It looks a little foggy. Ridiculous. Hello, Facebook. How is everyone? I'll give you guys time to pop on. Let me know when you're here. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And if anyone's in a good mood, you might want to leave because I'm not. Well, that's not true. Earlier this afternoon, I posted a video, a little warning of what's to come for tonight. And then I just had a fun call with a bunch of fun people, and so that made my energy lighter again. But don't worry, you guys, I have a rant in store for all of you. So if you are all, like I said earlier, if you're in that like, oh, winter is beautiful and I love it, if you're in that state, you're going to want to log off. You're just going to not want to hear what I have to say because I am not okay with the winter weather. I'm sorry to say it, but I am not okay. And I'd like to rant about it. Why? It doesn't help. It spreads negative energy, but we get bonded through negativity and complaints. And that's what I'm doing this evening. Because I am aware that I live in the Northeast and I live in New York, and I understand that is the weather, the climate, the way it works. I am aware of this. I've discussed this before. I don't like this weather. I'm sure a lot of you don't either. COVID doesn't help it, but I'm really done. Like, I need a memo to go out to Mother Nature. Like it snows for, weeks and weeks. And people say, well, that's what you get for living in New York. No, that's what I get for being a good parent. Because when I got divorced, I could have moved to California, but I didn't want to have my kids have their dad on the East Coast and their mom on the West Coast because my parents were bi-coastal, and that wasn't really fun. So I decided to stay in this area so my kids could have a family. And now that's why I'm here. So Elena from St. Pete, don't miss the weather. Yeah, I don't know anybody who's like, gee, I really miss the snow and ice and the constant gray skies and all that stuff. I don't know. I also thought about how I've never heard anybody on the planet, and correct me if I'm wrong, correct me, please let me know I'm wrong. I've never heard somebody who lives by a beach go, yeah, I hate it here. The weather by the beach is awful. Like, I've never heard someone complain or be upset about the weather or being by a beach. Something about that, you guys. So I'm kind of done. I know, Carol, you mentioned like, oh, you need to find winter activities. Are you out of your effing mind, my friend Carol? Are you kidding me? Not Carol Lombardi there. I just see your name. Another Carol. She said you should snowshoe. And it's very funny you mentioned snowshoe because I've heard that by a few people. Like, you should try snowshoeing. Let me tell you something about Deborah Hanlon. I do find the silver lining in most things. I really do. I can turn lemons into lemonade and all that crap, right? But I can't. I don't find anything good in winter. And snowshoeing, because I'm a child, and I just picture like strapping tennis rackets to my shoes because that's what they did in the cartoons when I was younger. So to me, snowshoeing is tennis rackets on your feet, like these big weird things with like a handle or something. I have never seen a snowshoe in my life. I don't want them on. I don't want to strap shit to my shoes. I don't want to put cleats or sharp things on my feet just so I can get through terrain and like hike on a mountain. I don't want to do that. I'll gladly go for some flip-flops in the sand. I'm even okay with burning my feet on the sand. I'm fine. It's like, ow, oh my God, I'm running. And I'm like, your feet are burning so bad. And you're like, holy shit, I think I have burns on my feet. I'll take that any day. But snowshoeing, my friend Carol, because she said, you should try snowshoeing. I would rather learn how to change my own oil and get under the car. You know what I mean? And I'd rather have the oil drip into my face than get some sort of snow activity. No, not snowshoeing. Not strapping shit on my feet. I don't like boots. Snowshoeing. Let's talk about that too. You bundle up so much to go for a hike outside in the snow. You bundle up. You might even bring hot coffee with you or hot whatever. And then so much so that you're sweating. And now you're sweating and you step outside in the freezing cold and then your feet and body get wet. This is not my idea of fun, you guys. I'm not doing it. I don't understand it. And I get people like, I'm offended because I love to ski. Good for you. Great. That's great. If one more person says, Deborah, stop with this. No, I hate it. I hate it. And my time is ticking on this whole wintry, this wintry thing. So, and I understand this is what you get for New York. Yeah, it wasn't my choice. If it were my choice, and if I was like somebody who was just like, see ya, tell your kids, tell your dad goodbye, see you later, I'd be there already. Hi, Jay. How are you? Hi, Todd. Thank you. And the funny thing is, Todd said I'm funny. I'm not even being funny. That's the funny thing. Like, I am so serious right now. This is, like, there's no filter here. No filter. Most nights, there's no filter. I find this oppressive. And I'm tired of being told, like, look at the bright side. Nope. I do it all day long. In my head, my mind, body, spirit, I'm always like, oh, I'm going to find the good in, stubbing my toe. Well, at least I didn't break my foot. You know what I mean? Like, I'm constantly like finding the silver lining. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm 44. I act like I'm 94 when I'm outside because I'm like, oh, I might slip, No. So send sand. Somebody send me sand from a real beach that will I could put in my hands and I could say, oh, look, this feels nice and gritty and warm, right? Oh my God. So let me see, let's see how many, some people are like hating, like some people really get viscerally mad at me, by the way. So like, if you're that, I gave you warning. You didn't have to tune in. I told you I was not going to be sweet tonight. I told you I was not going to keep you in this, like, yeah, let's accept winter and let's go find winter sports. Ugh. No. Nope. Yep. Oh my gosh. I know everyone says it's pretty. Nope. I'm not thinking it's pretty. I'm not. I think it's cold and wet. Oh my gosh. All right. So anyway, so I need to flush that out. Moving right along. Oh my gosh, we have what, 19 more weeks of this, because we all trick ourselves, or at least I do. I trick myself when I get to March. I'm like, oh my God, you know what? Spring is here. And then like there's this ridiculous huge snowstorm in March that lasts like 19 more weeks. And then it's really not until like mid-April that we start to realize like, okay, cool, it's spring. So that's the New York reality through Deborah's eyes. And I don't even know what a snowshoe looks like, you guys. No clue, no idea. So let's see. How are you guys doing? Sand is in the box you sent me, Joan. If there is literally sand in that box, I will freak out. Because I really do I need to like, I've never smelt sand, probably because you're afraid of like inhaling granules, but I'll do it. I will snort sand granules way earlier before I ever get myself in a snowshoe. I tell you that. And people like put chains on their feet. What? Unless you're rescuing somebody, I don't know. It's amazing. It's amazing. I know, to each their own, and I'm 100% accepting, but to me, this is like, what? You put chains on your feet so you can walk in the snow, like by choice? It wasn't like you fell down a cliff or something and then you had to put chains on your feet. That's amazing to me. Oh gosh, let's see. Thank you. Yeah, see some of these, I knew you'd be ranting. I think it looks cold and dreary. I need sun. I think I might have seasonal affective disorder. Maybe it's that. I don't feel sad, thank goodness. Thank good for everyone in my house. I'm not sad, but I just feel trapped. No, it's not that, because I really like being home. So it's not trapped. I just feel like I just want to go outside for a walk. I'll do that, but I will not do it in the winter. I don't. I'm sweating. I'm freezing. I'm sweating. I'm freezing. So anyway, you guys get the picture. And some of you are dying to go snowshoeing. I got a lot of people. You got to hook up with my friend Carol, who told me to go snowshoeing. And I thought to myself, I said, oh, Carol, tune in tonight because I actually have a snowshoeing rant because you're not the only person who told me try snowshoeing. Snowshoeing? Yeah, that's it. No filter is acceptable. Good. Girls trip to Florida. I'm in before it gets like blazingly miserably hot. I'm an asshole. I know. I'm going to complain about the overly Florida humidity too. So I'm in the summer when it's too hot, I'm going to be doing this too. Humidity. I don't like humidity. Only pretty at Christmas. Let's see. Greg said, don't let her fool you. She did change a belt in my truck once. I did. I changed a, it's not a snake belt, but serpentine belt. And I did that with my hands. And I would I'd rather be a freaking car mechanic, you guys. I would. I'm not kidding. I'll get my hands dirty. I don't want to break it out, but I'll do it. I got my hands. I have very long fingers. I got my hands in the truck. I don't remember what kind of truck he had. It was a Toyota something. And I took my hand in and I helped do it. Yeah, I did. So it's not me being like a princess, you guys. I'm not a princess. I hate the cold, but I will change a serpentine belt. I'll do that. I'll learn how to change my own oil. I'll get under the car. I'll get oil on my face. I'm not snowshoeing. So do you guys see how I feel about that? Yeah. How do you guys feel? Let me know. Oh my goodness. So now tonight, Monday nights are usually like either a rant or maybe like a nice story. Tonight's ranty because it's been snowing for 12,000 days. But this is our time together that you can ask questions about anything intuition, anything energy, stuff that you want to learn. I sometimes take personal intuitive questions, but for now I'm not. So if you're asking anything personal for yourself, I just don't answer those. So I'm not ignoring you, but I'm also just not answering those types of questions tonight. So usually we like to kind of learn together. And I love and appreciate all the conversations we do have. See, I'm better now. Sometimes we women, we just need to like get it out. You know, we need to get it out there. Yes, Tom, for like 5 minutes, it's pretty. Okay. I will send you Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We're looking at upper 60s and sunshine tomorrow. I'll be at the beach. Amazing. Please, I just need sand. I'm going to snort sand. I won't. I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like snorting sand, but I would if I had to. I just hope I don't have to. All right, so let me get to some of your questions. Kate has a question. It says, I've been wanting to ask you, in the beginning stages of mediumship, did you wake up in the middle of the night a lot, trying to figure out how to not be disturbed? I don't remember that, but I'm a pretty sound sleeper once I fall asleep. So I can't, that was like over 20 years ago. So I don't really remember that. Sometimes it would be hard to fall asleep, and it wasn't because I couldn't control like hearing stuff. I just was interested as to what I was listening to, so to speak. But I don't remember that it would wake me up. I still have that rule. Like, don't wake me up. God, I sound like I'm impossible, don't I? We all know I'm not. Quiet, Greg. Don't say anything. Let's see. All right. Oh, that is cute, Darlene. See, she said the only saving grace was sledding down the driveway with her 23-month-old granddaughter. So much joy. See, that would be cute, but I think I might watch from inside if I have a grandchild. And I'd love to hear their little giggles, but getting a kid into a snowsuit and all that stuff, sweating. I sweat. Let's see. See, Nicole, hate this weather. Yep, every year. I know. I put grippers on my feet so I don't fall and break another arm. Yeah, that's grippers. Is that what they're called? Those little like chain things? Like, who wants to live like that? I told Greg today. He's like, have you looked outside? And I said, are you kidding me? Do you want me to jump out the window and die? Because I know I can't look. I just have to stay in my zone. I have to pretend it's not happening. What do snowshoes even look like? To me, that's a boot. Why is there a difference between a snowshoe and a boot? Like, what's different about a snowshoe? You stay on top of the snow? Isn't that a ski? What the heck? Someone tell me what a snowshoe is. I think like, I don't know, Bugs Bunny, and it looked like a tennis racket on their feet. is my recollection of it. Oh my God, Maureen remembers the serpentine belt. See, I probably was ranting about it, but you know what? I did it. I do feel better. I did it. I will not feel better if I go snowshoeing. I don't want to. I was thinking today, like, it's pretty outside. Like, what am I? I'm not a photographer. I'm not taking photos of these. I'm not Ansel Adams. You know what I mean? I don't take black and whites of snow. It doesn't look nice. So the snow in this weather is useless to me. Absolutely useless. In Ayurvedic medicine too, there's these things called dosha types, and everybody falls in the category of one of 3 doshas. And your dosha is like your constitution, like what you're born, how you're born. It's how would I even explain it? Well, I guess I just did. But so your dosha type, there's only 3 in the world, and we're all a combination of all 3, but there's usually one predominant dosha and then possibly 2 that are close. And I'm a pitta dosha, which has a lot of fire in it. And so fire energies, pittas don't like the cold. So shocker. So I should have been born in the desert. I should have been born there, but maybe I'll end up there. Who knows? Okay, so the different Carol too, Carol. Don't worry. My Carol, she knows who she is. I haven't seen her on here. Maybe she ran for me because I said, oh, tune in because I'm going to rant about your snowshoeing comment. Maybe she's here. I haven't seen her yet. But the Carol votes for Florida trip and veto snowshoeing. I'm done with the cold weather. I knew you'd be on the same page for sure. Oh, let's see. Serena, watched the first episode of Surviving Death, and I love it. It is great. The mediumship ones, in my opinion, I don't think were as great as the other, if I remember what, were there 6 episodes total in that series? I remember feeling the mediumship, they weren't terrible, but they weren't great either, especially trance mediumship. But I never like trance mediumship stuff. Let's see. You're welcome, Kate. Yeah, it does look like a tennis racket. All right, so the cartoons were correct. Okay, so Adriana, so let's go back to learning, right? I check my YouTube first, and then I'll come on over here to Facebook to see your questions. Adriana is saying, how do you distinguish where messages are coming from, as in your own intuition or the other side? Good question. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes I don't know. So if I'm doing a session with someone, if I can't tell who's saying this, I will say, I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know who's saying this. So I'll preface that, like, I don't know who's this. That's not your dad. It's not your mom. It's not your grandmother. It's not this one. I don't know who's saying this. Other times I will say to someone, this is what I'm feeling from your energy field. And so I'll know. So you sometimes do know, but sometimes you don't know. So I know that's kind of like a vague question, but if for those of you who are like practicing and developing, which I wish I had a teacher 20 years ago, like help me figure out, because I used to think that they must know everything. Everything's so clear, and mediumship is not clear. It's not clear at first. And there at that time, there was very few teachers to teach it. So just keep paying attention to how it feels. Sometimes it's just a slight nuance that it's really your intuition telling you this and not the other side. For me, if I'm reading me, it would be entirely my intuition, because I don't really go to my loved ones on the other side for too much guidance. I'll like tell them to give me a sign, show me a sign, but I normally go inward for myself for guidance versus going to them for guidance. So does that answer your question, Adriana? Tara is asking, do you believe there are other humans on other planets like us, not like alien forms? I believe that like it's an evolution. So I believe there are other life forms out there that are more evolved states than we are now. So in other words, like we think of caveman and that we've evolved from caveman to modern human. I think we're like caveman to other life forms where they're like, oh yeah, there's the cave people, but it's us in 2021. So I think there's more evolved humans out there in the universe. Yes, I do. And less evolved too out there. Okay, good, Adriana. Good. Hello, Donna. Nice to see you on here. So let me go back. Girls Trip to Florida. I keep scrolling to that one. Hey, Bob, the heckler. You never have to introduce who you are, Ben. Bob, I know who you are, even though I just called you Ben. Todd, that's a good point. Todd is blaming the pilgrims for us being here in the cold. And you know what? I'm gonna think about that. I think you're correct. Screw those damn pilgrims. What the hell? I'm just kidding. So if anybody is offended by me saying screw the pilgrims, well, you shouldn't be on my page anyway if that really is offensive. They had no clue where they were going to land and ended up in what is now Massachusetts. They should have landed 400 miles south. Agreed. Yep, Karen is saying, let's hunt down those fools who pulled the woodchuck out of his den and stuffed them in it. I think that's funny. I saw was this true? Did you guys see this too? Maybe it wasn't like a real story. God, I hope it wasn't a real story. Somewhere, either I read it in some news article, or I don't think I heard it on TV because I don't really listen to the news. But they were saying that we should get rid of Punxsutawney Phil, the woodchuck. But that's not what they call him, though. You guys know what I'm talking about. I was going to say porcupine. It's not porcupine. Punxsutawney Phil. Groundhog. That's what the name. They were saying we need to get rid of Punxsutawney Phil because a groundhog can't accurately predict the weather. I've read this somewhere, but was that like a spoof article and I'm forgetting that it was a spoof article, but you just reminded me of it. I hope that was funny. I hope that was intended to be funny, instead of real. But I did read something. Did anybody else see that article? Please tell me you saw it and post it somewhere here so we can all read it, because I need to now see if it was written to be funny, or are people taking that seriously? Which frightens me, you guys. It frightens me. Let's see. Hello, everybody. You know what, Todd? I've been thinking about going to the beach, just even in the freezing cold, just to hear the ocean waves. I just need that. I actually had that thought. See, Amanda, SAD is a real thing. Seasonal affective disorder. It's a real total thing. I don't like to be cold and wet. I know. It's a special person. I'm hibernating until I can see a palm tree. See, you guys are my people. Speaking of hibernating, quick poll. I did see this on Facebook because, well, we know Facebook is, the mecca of all entertainment and truth, right? Did you guys know that when they say that bears hibernate, you guys are going to think I'm nuts. Bears hibernate. I thought they were sleeping all winter. I thought they went into their little caves or whatever, hole in the ground. I don't know where they went. I never thought about it. They went away and they slept all winter. But did you guys know that's not the case? I saw this on Facebook, where they actually just I don't know what they're doing, but they're not sleeping. Did you guys see this? Please tell me if you guys saw that. They're not sleeping the whole winter long and then wake up, which is what I'm 44 years old, and I literally thought that because that's what we were taught. That's what I was taught as a kid, and I never thought to question their sleep patterns. I just never cared. But yeah, so can someone look that one up for us? And please tell me that you guys were taught the same thing and thought the same thing, because I never thought about it. Okay, Donna is saying they turn on the lights for the cameras and pull the groundhog out of its home. Naturally, he will see its shadow. Yeah, well, bears don't hibernate. Yeah, I'm learning this. I was, when they say I was today years old, I saw this and I was like, stop. Again, cartoons. We are from the generation where I think we learned a lot of our information from the cartoons. It's sad. I know what you guys are thinking. You're thinking, how could she be so plugged into the universal truths, but be so ridiculously dumb when it comes to nature, bears, and snowshoes. It's okay. That's all right. I can't be everywhere, you guys. I just can't. Wow. Anything when it comes to nature, I don't feel like knowing. Thank you, Geraldine. I'd like to ask a question. As a medium, are you able to connect with those who are in their final days? Yes. They are not able to communicate with their loved ones, and their loved ones believe they're completely out of it, not responding at all. Hope this makes sense. Totally makes sense. And yes, anyone who is sometimes in an induced coma, sometimes people who are nonverbal, whether they have a disability or traumatic brain injury, I'm able to connect with them because their mind, someone who has dementia, Alzheimer's, it's similar to connecting with the deceased, because connecting with the deceased is just connecting with a consciousness, connecting with a thought process that we know as a personality or as a human. So it's the same to me. So yes, I can. I have gone to, oh my gosh, what is that hospital called in Rockland County? I love this hospital. They have such good energy there. They do rehabs for a lot of people with traumatic head injuries. I have gone there a few times for different families to connect with a family member who was either in an accident or had something happen where they couldn't communicate. And sometimes they called me in to see if they were still, obviously not the doctors did this, the families who knew me asked me. So they can tell by brain waves, by science, whether there's activity there, but the family would come in to see if there was consciousness to be able to connect, to see what to do. So it's not like I made the decision by any means. I'm not trying to like make myself sound like I was important or anything, but it's a wild experience. So yes, that's a good question. I hope things will be better soon. Do I have any intuitive thoughts on this? I'm not sure if you added more to it. If you're talking about, I'm just scrolling back. If you're talking about just life and COVID and the state of the world, is that what you're talking about, Mary? Let me know and then I'll answer your question. I'm gonna keep going forward. I see YouTube going on here. Yeah, right. So Tom didn't know. You didn't know that either. Good. I'm glad you didn't know that about the bears. Was this the bear that bit the woman's butt in the outhouse? I'm just returning. Wait, I didn't hear that story. Oh, this Monday Night Live just took a nosedive. I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't have many questions that were asked of me this week, so I had to do a snow rant, and now we're talking about bears biting butts. Oh my gosh, it's great. I don't know that story, Melanie. Do share, please. Yeah, so Donna's saying that bears' body temperature lowers so they don't have to eat often during the winter. I thought they were in a hole sleeping the whole winter long. That's literally, I'm 44 years old. That is literally what I thought. Did you think the same thing? Please tell me you did. There really is a story, huh? That Alaska bear butt bite story was crazy. Oh my God, you guys are hilarious. Oh my gosh. Hello, Carolyn. Can you share your understanding, the pineal gland and meditation and ways to enhance it? I've been doing Joe Dispenza's pineal gland meditations lately, and it's incredible. It is incredible. The pineal gland is what is thought to believe that is the gland in the center of our head, or center of our brain, literally in the center of our brain, that is surmised to think that is like if I use the word antenna, then I sound like a conspiracy theorist, so it's not the right word, but it's almost like a sensitive connector to energy within the human brain. And why am I right now forgetting what the biological process of the pineal gland is? I don't remember right this second, but there is literally what they do believe to be the third eye, and it's the seat of all intuitive information, and it's filtered through the pineal gland. So when you really focus on the third eye, which is, we all think it's right here, but it's actually in the center of our brain, precisely where the pineal gland is. When we focus on that space, it does tend to enhance our ability to connect and see clearly, but I don't mean visually clearly. And maybe seeing clearly means that you become clairaudient and you hear better. So when I say see, it doesn't necessarily mean vision. So does that help at all? Does that give any kind of something else that I found interesting with the pineal gland is when we went to Italy, we had a tour of the Vatican, and in the courtyard of the Vatican, there were big giant statues of pine cones. And if anyone who's ever been to the Vatican, you notice this, but our guide had said that pine cones show up a lot during that time of whenever the Vatican was built. And they believe that the pine cone reference actually is a reference to the pineal gland because it is shaped similar to a pine cone. So that there is something to do religiously, spiritually with that gland in our brain that has translated over into a lot of different religious traditions. I believe started in paganism, which then actually Christianity came out of paganism and Zoroastrianism. So that is what I know about the pineal gland. Let's see. Good Sam. No, not Good Sam. Not Nyack. Helen Hayes. Thank you, Sue. It's Helen Hayes. I love that hospital. It has such amazing energy there when you go. It's amazing. Okay, Jasmine. Hello. What are your thoughts about the use of psychedelics, ayahuasca, DMT, to enhance consciousness and self-awareness? Not advocating drug use, just read an interesting article about it. I also am not advocating drug use. However, I've never used any of those things. I'll share what that giggle was in just a minute. But I would love to try ayahuasca under the care of like a true shaman, done right in the right setting. However, in the past, if I maybe were in my early 20s, and if maybe I smoked the devil's lettuce, you know what I'm saying, you guys? Maybe if I did this, I might have become extremely paranoid, right? So I am not a good model of what psychedelics could possibly do because I think I'd lose my mind because I don't do well with that sort of drug. You know, I do very well with alcohol and sugar. That's a drug. I do great with those. But any kind of psychedelics, I'd love to do ayahuasca, again, in the right settings. But I think that would be really disturbing. I think I would really go out of my mind, but I think it's interesting. So many studies were done about it that does fascinate me. I have had pretty cool meditation experiences, certainly nothing compared to what people who have done like DMT and psychedelics have shared, certainly nothing even close. So I'd be against it for myself, but only knowing what, you know, maybe if I smoked like marijuana in the past and maybe if I became paranoid, I'm a little leery about trying anything because it doesn't feel good to me, but I'm curious to feel what that would feel like the unity that comes and knowing that you are everything and melting into everything. Although I'd probably see a room full of spiders or something. It wouldn't be fun, but I think it's super intriguing. Do I think people need to take them to get to that level of experience? No, but I think it takes a lot of practice. So it just hurries it along. So does that help? That is not me like saying, hey, everybody, let's go get some cool, fun stuff. Like mushrooms and stuff, never did them. I couldn't even imagine even thinking about, because what people have told me happens and they're like, no, Deb, you would love it. I'm like, that does not sound like something I'd love. That sounds terrible. I'd be so scared. I'm a big chicken. I'm a big scaredy cat. I don't even like if I drink too much alcohol and I get the spins, right? I start getting like all panicky, like, oh my God, I can't feel the floor. So cool, yes. Under the right conditions, spiritually interested, not sure that I would do it, but it does sound intriguing to me. Someone's going to go, Deborah said she hates snowshoeing. Bears don't hibernate. There are evolved beings on other planets, and go take drugs. I'm summing up tonight. Oh, gosh. Okay, so a bear, let's go back to the bear that bit someone. A bear had gotten under an outhouse with its cubs, and a woman was snowshoeing. See, you guys, I am intuitive. Popped in, and when she sat, a bear bit her buns. Stop it. Where was this? Is this true? Hang on. Hold on. 1, perfect reason not to go snowshoeing. 2, outhouses, not doing it. 3, how do you sit and not see a fucking bear? I'm sorry to curse. I'm just questioning that. How do you not see the bear? Because I'm not going to squat in the dark, in the middle of the woods with snowshoes on my feet. I'm not doing it. I'm not. I will pee in the ocean like everyone else does. See? I'm onto something. No more of this like nature and woods stuff. How does she not see the bear? I mean, God bless her soul. I'm not saying the woman's lying or anything, because who in the hell would lie about like, oh my God, I didn't see the bear and then it bit my butt. Like, I don't know. It's just something sounds a little sketchy in this whole thing. But anyway, that must be a big hole in the ground. I don't know about that one, but that's a terrible story. And I think I'm going to count my fortunes, like my fortunate self, that has not happened to me. So, okay, let's get back to some questions. It's snowing out, you guys. I can't be normal. Can one cross over even though the body's still alive and not dead yet? Like, will they die soon but not yet? Totally. Someone, you can cross over it and the body still be alive according to our definition of alive, which is a beating heart and or brain activity. But yeah, souls leave all the time much earlier than what the body decides. More often than not, the soul actually goes first. So it doesn't necessarily have to be at the same time. I've heard this so many times over the years, like if someone's in a terrible accident of some sort and they're put on life support, they'll say, no, I died at the accident, but my body was still here. So, and that's not for everyone. So don't say like Deborah said, all people who die and go on life support, that's not for everyone. I've just heard that over the years. Tom, those emojis are hilarious for the bear in the butt. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you, Shelley. You didn't know this either about bears. Thank you. I like to sleep all winter long and then wake up in the spring. I get it. Yes, it regulates serotonin. Oh, yes, the pineal gland. It regulates serotonin and melatonin. Thanks. Anything to eat or anything to enhance it? Ooh, good question. A lot of times they say eat for the chakra colors to enhance it. So if you're like doing like root chakra work, you would eat things that are red, natural color reds, obviously. So pineal would be purple stuff. But I feel like I do know like something about this. I can get back to you on that. So I'm not anything purple for sure, but I think there is something that I did read about like stuff that will help. Probably ayahuasca. Yeah, that would probably help to eat that or drink it, whatever you do with it. But yeah, you could probably look that up too. I would bet Chopra.com would have good information on that, like accurate information. Serena asked if I'm going to write another book anytime soon. I am going to write another book, but I have no idea on what. So I imagine it would not be anytime soon, only because it took me 7 years to write that other one. I know, right? So ridiculous. It won't take me 7 years to write another one, but I don't know what about. Like, I don't know, what I want to write about and like, what do people want to know? I do know a lot of people want to hear like ghost stories, and that's so not me. So I don't know what what people want to hear. You guys can tell me what you would like to hear me write about. Certainly not bears or snowshoeing, but to give me ideas. I think my next book, actually, because I do have this all done, I just have to get it compiled, is a daily devotional, because I go to one every day where it's every day of the year. You can read a little passage, and I've been doing it since January 1st this year, and the tail end of last year I did it every day, and there's something about it that really grounds me. Just a quick paragraph that just sets in my mind every morning. So I do think that will be my next book, but that's already written. I just have to put it all together. But my next actual written book, I'd like your ideas, you guys. What do you want to hear me talk about? And please don't say snowshoeing or snow. That will be a very quick book. Okay, Christina, are our ancestors, meaning our family genealogy, mean anything to our energy, or is it a cool discovery for our human self to look into? Our ancestors mean, well, our ancestors, yes, they're our ancestors, our family lineage. Their experiences are hardwired into our cells. So how deep do I want to go into it? And I don't know if this is what you're meaning. It's definitely a cool discovery for our human self to look into, because a lot of our unconscious old stuff is actually generational. And they used to call it hereditary, right? They used to call, well, my dad had that mannerism, so I have that mannerism. But scientists are finding that there's more to who we are than, well, my dad did that, so I do. It's not necessarily heredity. It's that our cells are carrying the memories, therefore the experiences that our ancestors had. But you and I, we don't know that, because we're so focused on our experiences today that we don't think about, maybe this feeling of lack could come from when my ancestors came over right after the potato famine from Ireland. So it is in our cells, and that is being proven over and over by science more and more often. So does that answer your question? I'm not sure if I answered it properly or understood the question. I see. Hello, Trisha. My lips are so dry. Bob is saying, wow, Deb, what Deb is this? I've never heard you like this. Bob, you have not been tuning in the winter then, because every once in a while, every time it snows, which is basically every day, I do this rant because I can't. Andrea, you read my mind about Bugs Bunny. Of course. My camera is lopsided and it's driving me crazy. Oof. Okay, Eileen, your guess you're a Pitta also. There's a way to find out what your dosha is. If you go to chopra.com and look up dosha quiz, there's one there. It's so fascinating stuff to learn about all that. Let's see. Okay. Hey, Roy. Oh my God, more childhood friends tuning in. What is this? Like word goes out. What was it, last week or the week before? Like all my childhood best friends were on here. Let's see. Unless this isn't Roy and it's Christine. Let's see. Which is a childhood friend too, but a little later childhood friend. My lips are so dry, you guys. Oh my God. Hold on. Melanie put the link to the story on my page. She was in Alaska. She was really snowmobiling, but I put snowshoeing to get a rise out of you. Okay, well played, Melanie. Well played. Well done, touche. Snowmobiling sounds fun to me, you guys. I like speed, so I that sounds fun. I just want to wear a helmet, and you have to because it's your head. You need it. Wow, Shannon Stevens. I'm sending good love and energy to Shannon Stevens. I really am. Okay, let's see. Donna said I had same-day surgery, came home from the hospital, and took a 4-hour trip upstate. The whole trip traveling was so beautiful with psychedelic visions. Oh, did I miss some of your topic there? Why'd you have psychedelic visions? Just because of the medication you had? Oh yeah, I did have a medication that did make me, I used to get bad migraines in high school, and I went to the ER one night and I got an injection of something, and the nurse had on a turtleneck with little Christmas trees on her turtleneck. And I do remember getting this drug, and then all of a sudden I was flying over digitized small Christmas trees. And I was like, oh my God, do you guys see these? There's so many Christmas trees. You just reminded me of that. And then when I came to, like, I don't know why that didn't last very long, obviously. And I remember then, like, oh, her turtleneck had Christmas tree, little tiny ones all over her Christmas or her turtleneck. There's a word you don't hear every day, turtleneck. Who the hell named that? Oh my God. Okay. You think I should write an intuitive coaching book? Okay, I like that. Mediumship workbook. Ooh. I get that. I love the word workbook. I love it. I picture my like first grade, like having to write in those glossy pages in a workbook. I loved that. Greg said I should write a car repair book. All right, I will. You watch. Intuitive car repair. I'll be like, I think it's fine. I think it's okay. Daily devotional would be amazing. Good. All right. We should have an ayahuasca group trip. I would do that if I could find a really good, reputable place, which I have some awareness of a few. I would consider that a nice small group, like a class trip, if you will. Ayahuasca, but I don't think I'm going to be fun. But I would like to say that I did that experience. Is that terrible to say that like live? Would love to read more about practicing mediumship, or a daily devotional would be cool too, with funny Deborah quotes. Okay, I got that. One of the quotes will be the day the bear bit my butt. Can we go back on that for a minute? I'm still trying to visualize that. How do you not see a bear? How do you squat over a bear? I need to know. I'm going to read the article. I'm going to contact this woman. I'm going to say, I'm so sorry this happened, but I can't really wrap my head around the whole, how this all went down. So, yeah, I can't imagine, like, I look for snakes if I'm going to squat in the woods, right? I'll look for a friggin' mosquito, a worm. I certainly would be on the lookout for bears that I don't squat over. I'm sorry to get so graphic, you guys, but something doesn't make sense about that story. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying something went wrong. Okay. Kate, you're absolutely right. Yes. I'm not sure why yet, but I've come to find out there's certain things that will be taught, but a lot that must be figured out by the student. That part hurts. I agree, because mediumship can't really, it can be taught, it can be fostered less than it could be taught, because the way I receive information may or may not be the way someone else receives information. So I can't teach people my way, because that might not be their way. So I agree. Sometimes you just need some help in pulling out what your way is and how you work best. So I agree. That's a great way of putting it, that sometimes you just have to learn on your own, and it's, mediumship is not like a black and white thing at all. It's very different for every single medium. Oh my goodness. Turtle covered turtlenecks for all. Oh my God, turtlenecks. The sad thing is I love turtlenecks, a nice black turtleneck or white turtleneck with a tight, I love those, but not one with little miniature Christmas trees. Even back in the late 90s or early 90s, that was like not cool. Let alone flying over them. Okay. Yes. If I feel connected to certain religious figures, is there significance to that? Do I need to learn lessons from their lives? Certainly significant. What would that significant be? It could be so many different things. And I would absolutely, like, if you're drawn to them, then find out more about them. And that a lot of just that process alone will be a process of self-discovery. So what could the significance be? Oh my gosh, there could be past life stuff. It could be a grandparent also had that affinity. Oh my God, it could be a million different things. It could be that you had a similar background, believe it or not, or name. There's so many different things. You do not see the darkness of a bear at night. They are so quiet you don't hear them. So she was snowmobiling in the night, and she went into an outhouse in the woods in the night, popped a squat. Sorry, you guys. And then she did that over a bear. That's like upsetting. It's, she should play the lottery because, that's just something I wouldn't think would happen. And if you're Alaska, I've never been. I've got to think, like, I hear Alaska and I think bears. Snow, mountains, pine trees, and bears. That's my Alaskan association. So I would have to think that if you're in Alaska, you probably should be bear savvy, right? Like, you should be like, be careful. There could be a bear in here because there's bears everywhere. Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like in our backyard in the summer. Be careful. There could be a skunk out there. Be careful. I hope I don't get sprayed by a skunk now that I said that. But be careful. There could be mosquitoes. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm not faulting her either. I'm just saying, Thanks, Jay. Yeah, something's not adding up for me. But I don't have an Alaskan experience. So Greg actually mentioned not too long ago, like, oh yeah, going to Alaska would be cool. And I was like, what would be cool about it? What's cool about, we basically live in Alaska without the prettiness of Alaska. Although New York State is very pretty, I will say that. But okay, there's snow, there are mountains, there's trees. There's bears here, but not that many. What would be different? Right. Okay, anyway. Who the hell sits in an outhouse? Touche. I'm with you. I am with you. Let me. I'm sorry, you guys. Sometimes this is a night of lots of introspection and reflection and learning, and sometimes it's not. Let's just put it that way. But who the hell sits in an outhouse in the dark in Alaska? I'm so sorry for the woman this happened to, by the way. Like, it's the grace of God. It wasn't me. Okay. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying it couldn't happen to me. I'm just saying, I'm so glad it wasn't me. Grace of God. You know what? I might, maybe I would do the same thing. I don't think so, but I don't know. Oh God, it's so hilarious. Going back to the ayahuasca, Belize, and Peru, I have some connections, if you will, not like awareness. So I just have to make calls, but to someone in Peru, I've heard for sure. And Texas, actually. Somebody else I know is in Texas that mentioned it to me about 15 years ago. Would you want to do ayahuasca? And I'd be like, yes, I do, even though I'd be so terrified. Oh my goodness. Okay. I guess I just said, I guess those bears don't shit in the woods. They're using the outhouse. They're domesticated. Okay. A serious question. Sarah, do spirits hold information back because they don't want people to know that yet? The person needs to learn on their own. Yes, absolutely. I was told in 2 separate readings that they don't want me to tell you that. No. My problem would lie in whoever said they don't want me to tell you that, not so much in those on the other side, because that feels creepy, right? So like if I went to a medium and I asked a question and then the medium went, they don't want you to know, I'd be terrified. terrified, so scared. I'd be so like, why? Why not? Is it because our brains don't think like, oh my God, it's going to be so good that I'm going to be so excited. And you don't want to ruin the surprise. No, our brain's going to go to, you know, oh my God, I'm dying. So I have more issues with, if that was exactly, they don't want me to tell you, I would never say that to someone. Never say, oh, they don't want to tell me that. They don't want me to tell you. I would just say, I don't know. I don't know that. I'm not getting it from them. They know on the other side. They know everything that's happened in our lives and is going to happen in our lives. But sometimes I can't pick up on all of that. I'm still human. It's kind of like they on the other side are operating on a frequency, or it's like they're operating like a computer in 2050, the year 2050. And I'm just like that 1985 Mac, like there's going to be a lot of things that I can't do and understand because my operating system isn't as quick as those on the other side. So when a medium doesn't know something, it's not because they're not being told it. It's because we can't grab it. We can't process it. We can't understand it. So, or sometimes we just don't know. We just don't know. So yes, they will not tell us stuff, but they're not going to tell. Let me stop there. I have never heard them say, I do know the answer to that, but I'm not going to tell them. I've never heard that because that's creepy. That's, you know what I mean? I'd feel creeped out by that. So, good. Thank you, Kate, for that. So that's the little difference. I've never heard that in 20 years. But have they not shared information? Absolutely. Someone asked, I remember this, someone asked a question about one of their children. And I remember, well, I don't remember. They came to me afterwards and told me this. And then I remembered saying that I couldn't see past a particular month, or a particular year or something. And I said, I can't see past whatever, but that didn't shake me up. That didn't disturb me. I've had that before. And it turns out that person passed in the month that I couldn't see beyond. But does that happen for everybody? Absolutely not. No, that was only a time I ever heard that I don't know, I can't see past, say, September, I can't see, and they pass in September or something. But again, if you ever get a reading with me and I say, I can't see past 3 years from now, it's not because you're dying. It's because I can't see past 3 years ago. I've said that many, many times. I just know of that one time out of thousands of readings, tens of thousands of readings, that came to be. So that just came to my head. Let's see. These are good questions, you guys. See, Donna, I was thinking of you when we mentioned Alaska. You can smell bears, and don't believe this story. Bears smell like wet rags. It's getting better. This night is getting better and better. I smell wet rags now. Okay, Janine. Hi, Deb. Maybe a dumb question, but if someone is sedated or on a ventilator, is their spirit still here or in heaven? It could be either or. If someone is sedated or on a ventilator, life support, they could be crossed over and the body functions are just being kept alive. So they could be crossed over and still here. But that doesn't mean that all people on life support have crossed over. It's not a one size fits all, but I have heard of many people who have been on life support tell me, no, I died 2 weeks earlier, or whatever the time frame is earlier, or people who have had accidents and then they were put on life support. They said, I died at the accident scene. So yeah, they could absolutely be crossed over, but their bodies still be functioning according to our science. Okay. Do messages come in the form of a dream? Stacy is asking. Absolutely. They do. Let's see. Last night I had a dream that I was going back to the neighborhood I grew up in and saw a dear friend's dad smiling at me, and he grabbed my hand. In my dream, I know he has passed and was confused, then woke up. Yeah, that's also, that's a hello, and it's probably a hello to you for you to pass on to your friend to say my dad visited, and just to let to let your friend know that he reached out. It could also be a revisiting of your past, your childhood, because you said you were in a old neighborhood. So it could be that as well. Oh my gosh, I haven't been looking at these questions here. Thank you. You guys didn't know about the bears and the hibernation. I'm so glad. had no idea. Oh man, I have not caught up on your questions. I am sorry, Facebook. Hold on. I'm seeing Helen Hayes. Jacqueline logged on. I logged on at bare butt bite. Note to self, no logging in late. What did I miss? That is funny. You really didn't miss much, but me ranting and then a bear bit a woman in the butt while she was trying to go to the bathroom. And we are trying to find out the truth of that story because apparently bears smell like wet rags and she should have known he was there. That's it. Erin is asking, when our loved ones come through to you, how do you see them and their energy? I don't necessarily, like, it's not like I'm sitting in the room and I see them like sitting on my couch. I see them in my mind's eye. So I'm not seeing them out in my world. In my mind's eye, I see them, and it's almost like I'm seeing out through their eyes, which is why I feel that I can kind of get their mannerisms and their personality and their brain process, because I can feel as if I am them. I'm still aware that I'm me, so it's not like I'm in a trance or anything. I'm me, but I'm also aware that I could feel what it would be like to be this person. So it's not like I'm visually seeing anything outside of myself. I don't want to, and this is my process. I see it all in my mind's eye. So yeah, that's how it, see them and their energy. And then I just feel them. I can't really understand, like, I guess, and I've never done acting or like I've ever been in a performance of any type, but I sometimes wonder if, like, when actors get in character, to me, that's what I feel like I'm doing. Like, I'm getting into the character of this person. Like, they have certain mannerisms and their speech goes a certain way and their thought process is like this. So I feel like I am in character, and that character happens to be your loved one. But I mean, I don't know if that's what acting really does feel like, but that's what I imagine, as close as I could, as to what acting would be like, getting into the head and personality of someone else. Carol is asking, so at what point after having accurate thoughts and strong gut feelings about things and they come true, do you consider you have a gift, or is it just coincidence? And if not, how do you develop it more? I don't know that there's like a point. I don't know that there's like a point. I think everyone needs to practice it, and there are ways to practice it. Meditation is 100% essential to the whole process of intuition in general. Whether you're doing sessions and readings for other people or you're just looking for guidance for yourself, meditation, it's essential. You're not going to get around it. It's kind of like, for a runner, they don't need to run. Like, that would be absurd. If somebody's going to run a marathon, that's like, oh, just lift weights and eat well, but don't run. So meditation is essential to the whole art of intuition for everybody on the planet. So how do you develop it more? Lots of meditation, and then practice with people. Like, get yourself in development circles, or create a development circle where everybody just meets and you just practice on doing a meditation together, and then you just share what information you're receiving. And it's you don't pay for it or anything. You just decide to all meet. I used to do that. Paul Coleman and I were in the same, that's where I met Paul, in the same development circle. You guys are telling me the deer was in an outhouse, as if that was better. The deer lives in an outhouse. Smart deer. Even the deer was like, screw this winter crap. It's cold. I'm getting myself a house. Intuitive guidance workbook series. This is fun. Okay. Let's see. Christine, I can witch wells for water and use needles or wedding ring on thread to tell how many children women can have and the sex of the child. Am I intuitive? Hey, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, that is a sense of intuition. Absolutely. that would be your tool. Like, I've never used a tool just because I never felt connected to a tool. And I never wanted to, if I didn't have that tool, I didn't want to think that my ability was in that tool. But a lot of people use tools like cards and energy stuff. Oh my God, what are they? Dowsing rods and things like that as tools. So it depends on how you work. Yeah. I'm reading, I open the toilet seat and there's just a bear's face just right there at the level of the toilet seat, just looking right back up through the hole, right at me, he said. I'm having a really hard time with this one. I really am, not going to lie. Eileen, you are a pitta. That is hilarious. Well, not hilarious, but you said you were. The nancychopra.com and just write in Dosha quiz, Dosha. And you can find out what your constitution is in Ayurvedic medicine. Okay, Stacy's saying, while you are talking to us now, do you get a lot of loved ones trying to come through? No, I don't, because it's a different focus. I'm focused on your questions and right in front of me. And when I'm focusing on a reading, it's kind of like I'm focusing in the back of my own mind. It's a different place of where I'm placing my attention and focus. So no. But sometimes I come on here and I do mediumship or just intuitive questions, and then my focus is, okay, I'm like focusing in a different place in your energy field, if that makes sense. Oh my God, Peggy, it's so good to see you here. I remember after my son died, you mimic him to a T. I remember as well, actually, way back when. I recently met someone with the same likes as my deceased husband. This young man also shares the same birthday. Coincidence? I would say definitely not a coincidence. Never, coincidences, the word coincidence should kind of be taken out of our vocabulary, and we should start replacing coincidences with the word synchronicities. It's so much better. Everything was in sync. It was a synchronicity, an alignment of everything. Doesn't that feel better, you guys? Because coincidence, people are like, it's a coincidence. You brush it off. Synchronicity is like, no, all is in alignment in the world. So change that word around. Okay, let's see. Kate, do you have rules that you establish with your guides about who you will and won't communicate with in spirit? For example, maybe choosing not to communicate with someone who took their own life. Nope, I don't. But I'm trying to think if I know. I don't know any mediums that choose who they don't want to connect with, but I do know of mediums who prefer to only connect with, say, someone who passed tragically in an accident, or only with children who have passed. So I have heard the kind of the opposite, but I've not heard of someone who's saying, I don't want to connect with this particular type of person or this set of scenarios. I haven't heard it. Doesn't mean it's not out there. Doesn't mean it can't be done. I just haven't heard it. And I don't have that. I don't kind of put a bar on things of like how they should be, but that doesn't mean that's right that I do that, or wrong if somebody else does do that. Let me just read your question again. One thing I feel like is a rule is I don't want to see them. I don't want to see anybody like out in my room or anything. I don't want to see anything outside of my mind's eye. That is my one rule. Nor do I want to be like interrupted, but I don't want to like, don't come to me in my dreams. I don't want to see you in my dream, like other people's people. I've had one visitation dream of my own family member, and it's somebody I didn't even know in a dream. That's it, my whole life. I don't want to be woken up. I like my sleep. Okay, thank you. Sarah says, thank you, but I believe the reason was because I have a spiritual journey to make, and I think answering might have derailed that. One was tarot and one was a medium. Yeah, I think if we're actively and consciously seeking out learning on our spiritual journey, whatever that means to everybody, and everyone's answer would be different, then I think that we get exactly the information we need at each time. A lot of times I think hindsight, like, oh, if I'd only known such and such way back when, this wouldn't have happened. But that's the whole point. Then if that didn't happen, this wouldn't happen. So I think we get exactly what no, I don't think we get exactly what we need for our journey, but it's kind of like that old song. We don't always get what we want, but we do always get what we need. Let's see. Donna says that bears smell like wet rugs, very musty and moldy. Well, they're in the cold and wet. Oop. Oh my God. We had a bear outside our house once, a year or two ago, and we heard a noise at our garbage. Greg looked at the security cameras right next to his bed, and he went, "Is that a bear?" That's all I heard. I flew out of our bed and went downstairs. I was so excited. I'm like, "Are you serious? There's a bear at our house?" So excited. I go to the window. I can't say anything. So I go out on our back deck. And when I went on the back deck, I saw this bear lugging our garbage bag. And I was so excited at first. I'm like, "Oh my God, I've never seen a bear up this close. This is so fun." Then I realized, wait, Deb, don't encourage the bear because you're going to have more bears come for your garbage. So then I realized I better make noise, right? Because you're supposed to make noise. So I literally am like, "Ray, bad bear." And I'm like clapping. And by that point, Greg came down. He's like, "What are you doing? What's happening?" I'm like, "I'm scaring him so he does not come back." Meanwhile, he's just like, he turned around, looked at me like, "Lady, no, you are out of your mind. You're not scaring me. I'm going to take this big giant bag of garbage that had a turkey carcass in it," which is what he was after, or she, and they just moseyed on off our lawn. Never saw him again. So maybe it did work. I don't know, but that's my only bear story. But I didn't smell him. I didn't get close enough to smell him. Oh, gosh. Let's see. I know exactly what you mean, and that's how I know you're real. I hope you don't take that the wrong way. No, I love that. I love that. I know exactly. Yeah, I like that you say that. Let's see. Thank you so much. How do you make that clear? You just say it? Wait. Yeah, you just say it, Kate. You just have to say, this is like my boundary. This is like how far I want. I don't want to deal with that. That's too sensitive for me. That's too much. When I first started mediumship, and I do believe mediums have experienced a really ginormous and profound death early on in life, which kind of keeps us open. And it doesn't mean somebody who hasn't experienced a profound early childhood death can't be a medium. I'm not saying that at any means, but I tend to notice a pattern. And I think my own mediumship started, I know my own mediumship started out of the unconscious and then conscious desire of me to figure out what happened to my brother who died. What happened? And I have no memories of him. I was 3. He was 4 when he passed. So I don't have memory, but I wanted to know, like, what is real? What's not? How does this work? What happens when we die? What is consciousness? What does it mean to be alive? All that stuff. And then as I got my own sense of healing on that, my mediumship changed, because it's not so much figuring out, okay, what to me anymore about, like, are they okay? Are they still here? What happens? Is there an afterlife? What are you doing there? And it becomes more about, like, okay, now that I've got that, how do I get, like, happy and good here? That has been that's where my life and my work just keeps changing towards. Let's see. Thank you, Kate. Yep, exactly. Thank you very much. I've been struggling with that. My dad passed when I was 15, and you're absolutely 100% correct. He's the one that helped me not be scared. Exactly. So I do think that it's an unconscious desire to heal or understand a loss that we experienced early on. And then since we just keep working on it, we develop a skill of connection. That's my theory on mediums. I was part of a study, and I can't even remember what college or what place this was. It was college students came and interviewed me a couple of times because they were doing a big study on mediums to see if they did have a tragic event that led them to mediumship. I don't think the study was really in favor of mediums being real. That was my sense of it. I could be wrong, but I remember, like, some of the questions were kind of like directed to, like, like mental instability, which I totally get. I'm not opposed to that. Like, please mentally test me. I want to know. Like, if I have problems, I want to know because I need to fix them. I mean, I had problems. I'm aware of that, but like really big ones. So there was a study done on it, and I cannot remember. I think it was a New York study, New York College. Maybe the person who came to me is listening. If it is, like, what were your findings? What happened with that? Does my brother Christopher still talk to me? I feel like I get like these little winks from him for sure, but it's not like a conversation talk. But that's me getting in my own way because it's not what I need from him. It wouldn't be the same thing. So I do get winks before every gallery. I'm always asking like, all right, Christopher, bring it again. Show me again. And I mean, I've done how many galleries in the last 20 years? And every single gallery, I've received that little wink from him, that little like, oh, okay, thank you. I know you're here. So I do that, and I do get that often. But it's not like I ask him to chat. Fortunately, I haven't had someone who passed that. I mean, obviously my brother would be close, but like I said, I didn't have memories. So I don't have someone that I miss my interaction with them on a daily basis. I haven't had that. I've had aunts pass, I've had my grandparents pass, but not so much clients actually are the ones that I'll go, oh my God, like I can't believe so-and-so passed. But I haven't had, thankfully, anyone close, knock on wood. All right, so this was a ridiculous night. I know. Hi, Jen. Hello. Do you have a question? This was a ridiculous night. I know. I started off with a rant. I apologize if I got you all worked up. I'm happy we figured out that snowshoes look like tennis rackets. Bears like to sit in outhouse holes. They smell like wet rugs. They don't really hibernate. And the groundhog really doesn't predict winter. I think this was a productive night. I really do. I think this was a good night. So that's great. Oh, good, Kate. I'm so glad. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you for your feedback. What's coming on? What's coming up? I have my energy transformation awareness class for the next 6 weeks. So that is occupying a ton of my energy. I'll have a virtual gallery in the end of March. Meditation every Sunday night. And I think that's it. Oh, my Teachable. I still have that class for free up on my Teachable account. So go to deborahhanlon.teachable.com and you can register for my How to Be in the Now or Being in the Now class. So it's free. Once you register, just scroll down the list of my classes. I think it's at the bottom or second to the bottom. It'll be there. So you could take that. I think it's super fast, super quick, and you can take it on your own time. And I think that is it. I do. I think that's all I've got in me tonight because I'm better now. I'm better. And then when the sunlight comes up and I see white, I don't know what I'm going to do, you guys, but I'll let you know. It's Carol. There you are, Carol. I don't know if you were on earlier when I was saying snowshoes. This is the Carol that said you should start snowshoeing. You're not the only person who told me that, but you were the last person to tell me that before I logged on. Snowshoes today do not look like tennis rackets. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I still don't want a pair. And I don't want to go snowshoeing because it's not my jam. I'll figure it out. Good night. I'll see you. I hope I see you guys on Sunday night for meditation. And thank you guys for just staying and entertaining my insanity. It's just fun. What else? What else would we be doing on a snowy Monday night, right? You guys have a great week. Don't forget to take time out to meditate, and I will see you in another week. Bye, guys. Bye, Facebook. Thank you.